Hey, it's Chris, and this is chapter one of my sci fi action novel, Love Machine. Hope you're ready. This is from the Dipole series, and book one. They can be read sort of out of order. Book one started with the Dipole Shield, but this is a prequel, which is about Tinker, the pilot. The NC 17 was moored in the D section of the halfway space station between Mars and Earth. Tinker stood at the triple-paned window that offered a view of the vast expanse of space and his pride and joy floating against the inky backdrop. "Darling," he whispered against the reinforced plastic that separated him from the vacuum, "you make my dangly bits tingle." "Excuse me?" a rough voice interrupted his reverie. Tinker turned and saw a couple behind him. The man was 6 inches taller than he was and outweighed him by 100 pounds, but only in his shoulders and massive slabs of meat that most people called arms. He showed them off in a hideous orange tank top, tucked into the narrow waist of his pants that ballooned around his legs. The woman next to him wasn't wearing much else. Tink had seen hookers in the brothels he liked to frequent with heavier gauge gauze covering their nether regions than she was wearing. It left little to the imagination, which was how the pilot normally liked to see women, except when their steroidal boyfriends glared at him like this one was. "Excuse me, mate," he flashed a charming smile. "I wasn't talking to your lady." The modified giant glanced up and down the steel corridor. "There ain't no one else here." Tinker looked first one way, then the other. They were both empty. He did it again just to be sure. "Yeah, you're right," he said. "There's just you and me and her." "Well, then you had to be talking to her." Tinker shook his head. "Nope. I can see how you would think that, though." "Then you were talking to me? Do I make your dangly bits tingle?" "Bits," Tinker corrected. "Dangly bits. And no, you don't." "What's the matter with me?" the guy sneered. "You think I'm ugly or something?" Tinker gulped. He did think the guy was ugly, but he was pretty sure that if he said so, it would be taken personally and probably violently. He didn't want things to get violent. He just wanted a drink, and maybe a camera to capture the vision of the striking woman standing in the corridor. He tried not to stare. Failed. "I was talking about my ship," he pointed over his shoulder. "That ain't your ship," the giant grumbled. Tinker nodded, his eyes locked on something shiny in the navel of the woman. She had a trail of glittering gems that led all the way from her belly button down to her, "Of course it's my mate's ship." "Of course it's my ship, mate." "Then why is it leaving?" Tinker blinked and turned. The tether to the NS-17 floated free from the docking berth. Ports on the back of the ship blasted frigid geysers of air into space to turn the ship away from the space station. He beat against the plastic glass. "Hey," he shouted, "that's my ship!" The rear rockets began to glow as soon as the NC-17 was clear of the station. "No!" Tinker screamed. But he could do nothing as the rockets engaged and the ship, his ship, took off, racing away. A heavy hand fell on his shoulder and ripped him around off the glass. "How are your bits now?" the giant asked. He didn't wait for an answer, and instead punched Tinker into the sweet oblivion of a blackout. Love Machine, inspired by the 70s disco classic, "I'm Just a Love Machine, and I don't write for nobody but you." You can find it on Amazon. If you like Kindle Unlimited, it's in Kindle Unlimited. And if you are looking at this August 20th through the 24th or 5th, you can pick up a free copy for Kindle. And if not, you can just grab a copy, your own paperback, pick it up. Let me know what you think. ChrisLowryBooks.com. More to come. Have a great day.